Hello, welcome to the Classic Bill YouTube channel. I'm Bill. Today I'm going to be doing a tired review of the brand new Jordan Peele movie, Nope. It just came out this past weekend. I saw it about 2 days ago. Been letting it simmer on the back burner, so I'm not being reactionary, so like my opinion has had time to solidify. I want to say right off the bat that this is going to be more of a regular movie review kind of video. I know in my Elvis one there were some good teehees and ha-has. It ended with a fucking Weezer joke. But this one, I'm gonna be putting my degree to work a little bit. You know, talking about the movie, talking about filmmaking, more outright. So I hope that's okay with you. If not, sorry, Buckaroo. I'm not gonna spoil the movie, by the way, so don't worry. Well, actually, I might, but later. Don't worry. Like, if you haven't seen it and you care about spoilers, I'll let you know when there's gonna be spoilers, and I'll tell you what time code you can skip to. So that's later. Don't worry, I won't spoil it. I'll let you know. So I've been seeing a lot of hyperbole around this film. A lot of people saying that this movie is incredible, that it's one of the best of the year so far. And then also I've been seeing some, not as many, but some people saying that it's outright terrible, bad movie, horrible, one of the worst of the year. I think both people are exaggerating a little bit. I am not right down the middle. I did like it, and I think it is a good movie. So I definitely lean more towards the good camp. But I do think both parties are exaggerating a little bit. I did see this movie in the theaters, and it is a spectacle. I'll say that right off the bat, that Jordan Peele, he said in interviews before this movie came out that he wanted it to be a spectacle, that he wrote this when the theaters were all closed for COVID. So he wanted to make something that you needed to see on the big screen. And I believe he succeeded in that. All of the big horror sequences and set pieces, A1. Going into this movie, I forgot that as a kid, I had a deep fear of aliens, and I remembered halfway through this movie that I used to have that fear, and the horror sequence at about the midpoint of the film, I almost had a panic attack because A, the sequence was very effectively directed, and B, I was like, oh fuck, aliens are scary as shit. So if you want something thrilling, that'll get your blood pumping, you want some spectacle, you'll definitely get that out of this movie. I will say also that the movie doesn't deliver in other aspects. Jordan Peele is renowned for his ability to weave social messaging and thematic messaging into his horror very well. I, of course, love Get Out. Who doesn't love Get Out? And I really liked Us. I've seen some people say that they didn't like Us. I actually really liked Us. I thought that was a pretty great film, second film from a director. Nope's theme is, I would say, unclear, but I get what the message is. It just seems to be muddled. You know, it's a statement on this, like the current state of the entertainment industry. People will exploit for fortune and fame, and people will purposefully court danger for clout, and that is stupid of us to do. The problem is that this message isn't really well integrated into the story, because It's all over the first half of the film. It's all over, and then the second half it kind of just disappears, except for one scene. It kind of pops up again, and then it disappears again, and then the movie ends. With Get Out and Us, it's like those what the theme, the message that Jordan Peele was trying to convey, it was woven into the story. It was part of the DNA of the horror. Get Out, like you can't make the argument that Get Out is about anything other than race relations. It is crucial to the DNA of Get Out. If you took it out of Get Out, then then there's no movie. With Nope, it feels superfluous. Where if you took it out of the movie, you would still have a pretty solid movie about aliens. And so the scenes where again, I'm trying to talk about this without going into spoiler territory, but the scenes where he explores that theme almost feel like window dressing almost, instead of something that is integral to the film's core. And so, walking out of the film, I did feel there was something missing. It felt like there was a bit of a void. I got the spectacle that I wanted, but I didn't get that extra layer that people love about Jordan Peele's work in the past. So it's like, he's capable of doing it, and that he was trying to do it in this film because it's there. It's just not as elegantly woven as in Get Out and Us. Another thing that I was a little bit disappointed in, kind of to a lesser extent, but still there. When you're going into a film called Nope, and Jordan Peele, of course, he has his roots in comedy, and I love his ability to weave horror and comedy together. A lot of the times in the same scene. Because, and I think I actually might want to do a video essay on this someday, because I think it's fascinating, but I believe that horror and comedy are two sides of the very same coin. That you are presented with a situation that is uncomfortable, and you either panic, horror, or you laugh, comedy. That's typically how, people laugh when they're uncomfortable or nervous. I feel like those feelings are a lot closer than people would think. And Jordan Peele figured that out. And with Get Out, there are these scenes that so perfectly toe that line between, am I supposed to laugh or am I supposed to freak out? I'm kind of doing both right now. Get Out, it's pitch perfect. The tone is absolutely 100% so good. Us, not as good as Get Out, but it still has it.
Please stop. Stopping. Good Vibrations by the Beach Boys. Ophelia, call the police. Sure. Playing Fuck the Police by NWA.
It still does it really well. With Nope, it definitely felt a lot less funny than Get Out and Us. And I know comedy is subjective and all that, but it doesn't, just speaking objectively, it feels like there were less attempts at jokes. It feels like he wasn't trying to make you laugh as often. There are definitely moments of brevity. There are moments that are funny, and there are lighthearted scenes, but the comedy isn't intrinsically woven with the horror like his two previous projects. There is one moment at the midpoint of the film where I was having a panic attack that does weave in a very funny bit within the horror that I thought was there's Jordan Peele, there he is, I knew you could do it. But those moments I feel are too few and far between compared to his previous work. Now, I've spent a lot of time ragging on the film, but I liked it. I did like it quite a bit. It's just you can't help but look at his past projects and be like, it wasn't as solid. The direction is there. It is. He knows how to create tension. He knows how to make suspense. He is so good at that. Again, like I said, the horror sequences are all so good. I was so tense. Couple moments where I was shaking a little bit. Again, I remembered I have a very deep childhood fear of aliens that kind of reared its head during the film. So I might be a little biased in how scary I thought the film was, but I was pretty scared. But I felt those sequences were really great. I really don't have many complaints about the horror and the tension, the atmosphere, the direction. Performances are all really solid. Keke Palmer is so good. She deserves all the praise she's getting. Come on, it's True Jackson VP. Come on, what else were you expecting? I felt they misused their Stephen Yeun. I love Stephen Yeun. I will watch anything that he's in, and I felt like they kind of squandered their usage of him a little bit. I will get to that in the spoiler territory, but yeah, no, I felt like they didn't quite properly utilize their Stephen Yeun. Cinematography. This movie was shot by one of my favorite cinematographers, Hoyte van Hoytema, and he did Her, which is my favorite movie. He did Interstellar, which is just, I know some people don't like Interstellar, but like, you got to admit the cinematography in that film is absolutely gorgeous. He is a fantastic cinematographer, and he really made some of these horror sequences just really pop. Really effective cinematography there. Soundtrack was really great. It felt like they were going for kind of like a 70s blockbuster kind of thing. You know, Spielberg works with John Williams a lot, so it kind of has that big orchestral sound. It felt like that's what they were aiming for. Very effective. Really enjoyed the soundtrack. Sound mixing. The sound effects and just the sound design in general, especially regarding the aliens, just really fantastic. Really sucks you in, really immerses you in the atmosphere. Very good. Like the technical craft of the film is really top notch. Like I really have no complaints there. I think most of my complaints lie in the script. Like I was saying, you know, the comedic tones and the messaging just get lost in the script. And I really think someone needed to sit him down and be like, hey, this needs a few more drafts before we're quite ready to shoot. This is like purely theoretical. This is me spitballing. I have no evidence to corroborate this, so take this at face value. But to me, it feels like he might be suffering from George Lucas syndrome just a little bit, where it's like he made the first Star Wars and it's like, oh my God, George Lucas, you're amazing. But with the first Star Wars, it was a risk. It was collaborative. He was still a young filmmaker who wasn't quite a master of their craft. So a lot of people helped him with the script and the dialogue and the VFX. Like there are so many people who helped make that first Star Wars what it is. But George Lucas, being the writer and director, gets a lot of the credit. So then when the 90s come around and he's like, oh, I want to make The Phantom Menace, they're like, okay, George, do whatever you want. Go ahead. And it's just him. And then he made The Phantom Menace. Nope is not The Phantom Menace. I'm not calling Nope as bad as The Phantom Menace. Don't worry. But I do feel that, you know, Jordan Peele, he made Get Out. It was a risk. It was this guy coming from sketch comedy, wanting to make a horror film. I'm sure a lot of people were like, are you really the guy to direct this? I don't know if this is really your wheelhouse. He probably asked for a lot of help. He probably needed a lot of elbow grease to get it off the ground and to make it what it became. Get Out makes a bajillion $1 million and is a huge hit, and Jordan Peele is suddenly, the messiah of modern horror. And I'm not saying it's not deserved. I fucking love Get Out. Get Out is absolutely amazing. But then it's like, all right, here's a blank check. Go ahead, make whatever you want. And Us is good. I really like Us. Not everyone loves Us, and a lot of people will tell you that it's nowhere near as good as Get Out. I think it's almost there, but yeah. And then Nope is a lot more ambitious than Us. These big special effects sequences, a budget of $60 million. It feels like they gave him a budget of $60 million and they were like, go ahead. And because it's like, oh, it's Jordan Peele, this movie's going to make $1 gajillion regardless. No one really sat him down and gave him a bunch of notes. And as a result, the script didn't get the punching up that it needed. Purely theoretical. That is me spitballing. That could very well not be the case. I'm not saying that Jordan Peele isn't a talented writer-director. It just feels like someone needed to sit him down and be like, hey, give this a few more drafts, and then we'll go to shooting. All right, I'm going to go into spoiler territory because it will allow me to elaborate on why I feel the way I feel about the thematic messaging in the film and why I feel it wasn't as effective as his previous films. Skip to this time code if you want to avoid spoilers, but otherwise, here we go. Steven Yeun's character in Nope is this guy who owns kind of like a rodeo fair kind of theme park almost, and he is a former child actor who was on a sitcom about a family living with a monkey. It's kind of like Alf, but if Alf were like a real monkey. And one day, the monkey goes ballistic, I believe, kills some of the cast, rips off the face of one of the girls on the cast, and then the monkey is shot by security right in front of Steven Yeun's character. And it is revealed that he has this whole room dedicated to that show, and he will charge people money to come in and see it. He charged one couple like $50,000 to sleep in there for a night. So it establishes that, like, okay, Steven Yeun's character is kind of the embodiment of that idea of like exploitation, profiting from danger, profiting from tragedy, putting other people or yourself at risk for entertainment value, for money, for fortune and fame. He is like the personification of the theme of the film. And the film really wants you to know this. The film spends a lot of time showing us the sitcom. The film opens, it cold opens with the monkey attack, and then it further elaborates on that flashback in a longer sequence about halfway through the film. So it really wants you to know that is the theme. Steven Yeun embodies that theme. Possibly he might be an antagonist. They really want you to know that he is important and what he embodies is important. Halfway through the film, it is revealed that part of his little rodeo show is that he's been buying horses from the main characters, and he buys them so he can feed them to the alien. He sacrifices these horses to the alien for spectacle in front of an audience. He would be like, I'm going to summon a UFO, and he lets the horse out, and he summons the UFO, comes down, and it eats the horse. And that's his show. So he's profiting off of really fucked up shit. Halfway through the film, when that is revealed, the show goes wrong. The alien eats him and everyone in the crowd. He is never heard from again for the rest of the film. For the whole back half of the film, he's just gone. So as a result, that theming, it kind of just disappears. Because you got rid of who I thought was going to be your antagonist, who seemingly is supposed to be the embodiment of that message, poof, he's just gone. And so, as a result, the back half of the film feels mostly just dedicated to horror and spectacle, which again is fine. I really like that. But don't spend like the whole first half of your movie trying to set up these characters and this thematic message if you're going to drop it partway through, you know? So as a result, it kind of feels like, okay, then why did we focus on the monkey sitcom that much? Why did we spend so many scenes with Steven Yeun if he's just going to disappear halfway through? It kind of confused me and left me feeling like that plot thread, that character, and that theme are only partway formed. Another spoilery thing that I wanted to talk about that I really liked is the subversion of the alien abduction thing it has going on. It is revealed that the ship that we've been seeing in the commercials and everything, the UFO, it is not a ship, but that itself is the alien. That is the whole thing. It swarms through the clouds, and the circle that it sucks people up into, that's its mouth. And when it sucks people up, it's just eating them. They get pulled into the ship and they are just eaten. I thought that was a really, really interesting subversion of like the alien abduction. You're not being abducted, you're just being straight up eaten. So it really heightens the stakes of like, you know, you think people are being abducted, oh, maybe they'll come back. It's like, oh no, they're fucking dead. They are straight up digested. I thought that was a really neat subversion that I personally haven't really seen before, that the ship is the alien itself. I thought that was pretty cool. And there are attempts to bring that theme into the last act of the film without Steven Yeun. Like there's this cinematographer character who wants to help them get evidence of the alien so they can sell it to Oprah and they can be rich and famous. And that's another, like the main characters themselves, like they don't want to kill the alien, they want evidence of the alien so they can sell it to the media so they can become rich and famous. And much like the Steven Yeun plot line, that is it's very prevalent in the first half of the film, and once the second half really kicks into gear, they kind of just stop talking about it. It becomes primarily focused on, we just want photographic evidence of this alien. They stop talking about the fame and fortune aspect of it. It's just, all right, we need to prove that this thing really exists and show it to everyone. And there's the cinematographer who is helping them do it, and he seems particularly fixated on predators. And at some point in the final act of the film, he seems to kind of snap, and he's like, oh, we don't deserve to get evidence of this alien. And then he kind of sacrifices himself to the alien. That also felt kind of half-baked. There's this TMZ reporter who just appears during the last act of the film and is like, what's going on here, huh? There's some weird shit going on here. I'm going to go in and investigate. And they're like, don't go in there. And he's like, I'm going in. And then the alien eats him, and that's it. So like there are attempts to bring that theme of, you know, media exploitation into the final act, but they just don't feel particularly effective. What would have been effective is if you had Steven Yeun survive the alien eating him and his whole audience, brought him into the third act and made him maybe a human antagonist, maybe had him acting, you know, against the main characters somehow, you know, trying to thwart their plans so he can continue exploiting it. And the film, it you know, it kind of just ends. They get the proof that they wanted. They finally get the picture of the alien. It tries to eat a big balloon of Steven Yeun. Again, another attempt to bring that theme into the final act, but like, we already haven't really been thinking about the theme for about like 45 minutes now. So when you see this balloon of Stephen Yeun, you just see a balloon. You just see like a balloon of a person. You don't think, oh, that's the embodiment of the theme. It's ironic that this is going to be the alien's downfall. I didn't think that personally, but maybe I'm just an idiot. It feels like he had something he wanted to say, and for some reason he just stopped trying to say it in the second half of the film. In my opinion, of course. This is my video, isn't it? But, if you go in just wanting something to wow you with spectacle, just wanting to see, like, if you'd like movies about aliens and you just want to see a pretty solid horror film about aliens, you won't be disappointed. If you go in expecting, that extra razzle dazzle that Jordan Peele has brought to his previous projects, I think you might be a little let down like I was. I still like this movie. I know I ragged on it a little bit, but that's only because I've either been seeing universal praise or universal negativity. And I haven't really seen many people giving kind of a measured review of it. So I wanted to contribute that perspective in this video. I still enjoyed it. I love sci-fi. I like movies about aliens. This movie reminded me of why I was so scared of them in the first place. And you know what? That says something. I would give Jordan Peele's Nope a 7 out of 10. I thought it was pretty good. Could have and probably should have been better. But for what it is, I had a good time. That's about all I got to say on this one. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.